This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hi, everybody. Hey, it's good to see you again. It's February 28th, 2012. Topic today, do we have the answers to life? Oh, we're certainly going to look and see if we do. I don't just deal with small things, do I? All right, before we do that, callers, I do take call-ins on the show, and I do readings for you on air, just like I do private readings over the phone. Make sure you call in, start around maybe quarter after the hour, because that's probably when Studio Man will be free to put you on the board. Until then, keep trying, because you know whoever's first gets there. The number is 1-877-230-3062. This number is for all countries. Again, it's 1-877-230-3062. Remember last week, we have a chat room, by the way. We have a great, friendly, fun chat room. You ought to check it out. People are very nice and help each other, and I do read over there when I can, along with on the board here, the radio board. Last week, Mac was in the chat room, and she was saying she was having trouble with her eyes, grittiness, some elongation of words at the bottom of her eyes, and I just felt drawn to her that I should talk to her. So I don't person, of course, because it's through email, chat, or whatever. She says, she sent me a note, an email note. She said, you said on your Tuesday show that I should get the fluid in my eyes checked. And sure enough, there was a minor problem, like you said. You also said that it would be easy to fix, and it is. You were spot on about my eye problem. Apparently I said other things too, but I can't remember what. I went to the ophthalmologist as you suggested, and he told me my eyes were quite healthy with the exception of dryness. The other health problem that's causing it is causing the grittiness and unusual feeling in my eyes. He gave me artificial drops, indicated there might be a minor problem with the cornea. I think somebody on the chat room said check your cornea. Wasn't that you, Barb? He's asked me to return next year. Thank you again, Venus, for your help. Without it, I would be still spending another few weeks before dealing with the situations. 3 weeks had passed since this eye problem had started. It is difficult for phobics to deal with their phobias. And she wrote me another note. Thank you so much for your amazing insight. Yeah, phobias. Well, we understand phobias here, so I'm glad you're doing well, Mac. That's really cool. Here's another one from an on-air caller. This was, I think was it last week? From Heather. Remember Heather, or the week before, and she said she was really in bad shape. All her beliefs had been shattered and shaken. She was left with nothing to hold on to when she was deeply depressed, and she didn't know what to do. And I said, wow, you're so lucky. That's what a lot of people are trying to do. Get their minds empty. This is what all the enlightened people have looked for, the gurus, all this and that. And you were so lucky. And I went on and on about that, and I was sincere, too. And she said, I just wanted to say thank you for taking my call today. Still can't believe I got through. I appreciate so much the change in perspective you've given. Then she mentions she had a private reading phone reading with me a few weeks ago. Yeah, she had an uncle who was hanging around her. I felt was around not a good influence, and I did my best to send him back to the light or to the light. She said I felt less from his black cloud ever since. Thank you for your kindness and infusion of hope. Yes, lucky. All right, let's see. Oh, you know, we should probably get going in our topic here, but I just wanted to say, before I do that, I've had something odd happening. You know, I do readings, and I look inside people, and dead people, live people. I look at situations. I try and change things for the better and this and that. But you know what? And I'm really good at that, if I do say so. I've done it all my life. But I'm really getting better at seeing ahead, and I've started looking ahead, practicing in my own life. I was watching the Oscars the other night. You know, they went to announce the winners of the Best Picture. They had all those great pictures, and of course everybody thought it'd be this and that. And I just heard myself say out loud it was going to be the silent movie one, The Artist. That was it. I don't know if everybody was happy about that. It wasn't what I wanted, but I just knew. If we have time, I'll tell you about my hunt the other day for my fat pants and what happened, how I found those. Okay, to our topic, though. Do we have the answers to life? Off. You know, hello. If you can help me with show ideas, it's appreciated. This person says, I am a biology major. With all the new things I am learning, it makes me question my belief religion, which I despise because I've always wondered about what happens to us when we died and what we were before we came here, and I hate to think that after death there is nothing but oblivion. Well, I don't happen to believe there is because, you know, the work I do. It'd be kind of strange if I was talking to the dead now, but I didn't believe in it. This person says, 1, she's asking these questions. If evolution is real, then how can God exist? 2, everything originates from somewhere. Where does God originate from? Who made God? 3, if there are other galaxies that have their own life form, does that mean they have their own God? Is there more than one Mother, Father, God? 4, I know that Jesus did not die on the cross and he had a life afterwards that the church would like to keep away from us. Since this was fabricated, was the Virgin Mary really a virgin? Well, let's go ask her. How did she become pregnant? If these questions could be answered, I would greatly appreciate it. And then she ends her letter. Listen to this. God bless, in big letters, in her name. I just thought that was kind of cute. She has all these doubts and then it's God bless. So I wonder how if she really has all these doubts. All right, well, let me take a whack at this. Let's see. Let me go back to this a minute. You know how I talk to the beings, how that all came about. And if you don't know, please go to my website, godisalwayshappy.com. godisalwayshappy.com. Look for the section about the beings. You'll have to hunt around there for it. But they started talking to me after a big experience I had in life, a huge one. And they started talking to me May 26, 2006. I'll always remember the day. And they talked to me for 11 months. I have a whole bunch of writings, and I put the first bunch of it on 2 CDs. I've never gotten through the rest of it yet, but the CDs are there on the site. But basically what they told me in a nutshell is something like this. They said God is always happy and God is always glad because God is always experiencing itself. Nothing is good, nothing is bad. It simply is, and we're all God. And God is always the question and God is always the answer. And you know, when people question God, especially scientists, I say, well, what do you want to call it then? You can call it energy, power, the universe. Call it whatever you want to. But let's go through. With this in mind, let's go through. If evolution is real, then how can God exist? Well, God is everything. It can be evolution. It can be anything. God is the eraser on your pencil. God is you. God is me. God is your cat's tooth. God is the energy of everything. 2, everything originates from somewhere. Where does God originate from? Who made God? Answer, I don't know. If you know, let me know. 3, if there are other galaxies that have their own life form, does that mean they have their own God? And I would say perhaps what they think of as God as we do. It's all the same. So anywhere in the universe are universes, because I happen to believe there are many universes. It's all God. So of course they have God, however they might see it. Is there more than one Mother, Father, God? Well, I think there's many universes and perhaps many gods, but again, they're all the same God. You see what I'm saying? Gazillions of everything, in a sense, as everything is God. So there's gazillions of anything you can think of. She says, I know that Jesus didn't die on the cross. She thinks that's a big fibber. I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it's not. It doesn't really matter to me. Jesus is God. Jesus was God. He still is it. He still is God. God isn't it, by the way. It's an energy. Was the Virgin Mary really a virgin? I don't know. You know, a lot of storytelling might be involved here. That happens a lot, especially when we're this far away from when the Bible was written. How did she become pregnant? Well, you know, she hasn't told me that. My father thought he knew. I think I've told you that story about when he was in the nursing home and he was explaining to Summer he'd figured it out, how the Virgin Mary conceived. I don't think we need to go through that again here. Embarrassed Summer very much. She kept trying to get him to shut up because so many people were around and he was blind and he didn't care. But he had a good answer for it. Those are my answers. And God bless to you too and all of us. All right, so let's see what else I've got here. Oh, I was watching, was it PBS the other night? It was about the Bible, or maybe it was the Science Channel. I love the Science Channel. And they were talking about real stories, true stories of the Bible, and how we only have 4, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But they've discovered many, many others. Many other books that are not in the Bible. They were taken out. They figured they were taken out because they didn't agree with what, I think it was King Constantine at the Council of Nicaea. It was all a power thing. Power, money, and they kept in the belief systems that went along with what they wanted people to believe that made them more powerful. It supported their power plays and their politics. The books they left out were the Gnostics, Gnostics, not agnostics, Gnostics, who were mystics. And they believed as the beings taught me. And if they left all those out of the Bible and they had just Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, then they had need for priests and bishops and kings and people that we had to look up to and defer to. But if we put the other books in, we didn't need that. Interesting. You know, way back in time when I worked as a hypnotherapist, I just got into it to help people lose weight, stop smoking, all kinds of stuff. But eventually and very quickly, I was using it to do readings. People demanded I do things that I didn't think I could do, but of course, turned out I could. But I remember I was doing past life regression. I would call it something different now, or just I would name it, say it differently, as you know I've talked about that before too. But I had this lady there. She was an older lady, and I believe she was in the metaphysical world. She was well known. Very interesting, the things that happened with her. And her husband would sit in the living room and while she screamed and yelled how much she hated him and all kinds of things. And of course he was sitting out there listening. I've always had some doozers happen in my life. Thank goodness I'm open-minded. But I hypnotized her because she wanted to know some answers to a few things. And we went back to at the time of Christianity when Jesus was alive. And I remember her telling me way back in time that the followers of Christ, according to her, what she was saying under hypnosis, they were all zealots. And she was saying a lot of them were thrown to the lions because they were all so annoying and irritating to people. I remember thinking, oh, that's interesting. But in fact, you know, Christianity has a long history of zealotism and cruelty, inquisitions, etc. And it's come through all that, and look how it's proffered. And the extreme Islamists who believe in killing people if we don't believe in their God, and they feel this is the way to force religion on others, and apparently it is. It certainly worked with Christianity, the religion of peace and love. I mean, look at religions. I'm not singling anyone out on purpose because they're all pretty much the same. They may at base be true and honest and real. But, you know, human beings step in and they warp them to their own needs and their own desires, don't they? Yes, they do. Oh, by the way, I'm looking at the time. You better call in. There's a couple of lines free. 1-877-230-3062. 1-877-230-3062. So get in there before somebody else does, and maybe I'll take your call. I wanted to tell you something else. I don't know if we answered all the biggest questions or not, but we gave it a try. I wanted to tell you about the thing I've been doing with my intuition. I'm telling you this because we can all do it. I know a lot of you are very sensitive, and of course, the more you practice at something, the better you get at it. My gosh, I've been doing this most of my life now, as that medium told me many years ago when she pointed me out as a medium to everybody. And she pulled me aside and said, don't ever stop doing the work. At the time, I didn't know what she was talking about. But I've always done the work. Ever since I figured it out, I always do it. No matter what else I'm doing, I always do the work. I always work with people over the phone. And, of course, now I do the radio. So, yeah, I'm always busy practicing. But the other day I decided, you know how you wake up and you put on a pair of jeans and you go, oh, my gosh, I cannot believe it. What happened? Have I been eating too much peanut butter? Yes. I said, I've got to get a pair of pants that are just a size bigger or maybe more so I can be comfortable. I just had it. I just can't wait around till I lose weight. But I have to drive down the mountain to do anything. And you know the price of gas and then going down the mountain. I said, there's so many places to go. I guess I'll go to the place I always go to look for these kinds of cheap fat pants or whatever, Stein Mart. And I was looking at it and I heard, no, they're not there. And I looked. Because so the way I do things is I see visions, I see pictures, I hear words, sentences, I get feelings, all kinds of things. But with this, I looked at the place, I looked around in my mind. They weren't there. I go, wow. Well, maybe I could go to Ross. That's farther away. I've been there before. And so I walked in the door in my mind and looked around, and they weren't there. And I heard they're not here. And I go, well, where am I going to go then? And then this thought was put into my mind. Go around the corner and down in the same this different parking lot, but in the same one with Ross, and go to that place. And I said, oh, I think there's one there, but I can't remember the name of it. So I head down the mountain, and I'm really tempted to jag and go into Stein Mart. I said, no, I'm going to follow this and see if I'm right. I go down to Ross, which is, a half an hour away, and I'm driving into that lot, but I'm heading for the one I'm told or I saw where my fat pants at. I said, Ross is right here. I'll go in. I parked, went in. They're not there. I said, well, they better be at this next place. So I drove over there, went in. They were hanging right there looking at me, tried them on. They fit perfectly. That was it. They were $30. $29. I go, this is pretty cool. I've been doing this lately with all kinds of things. And, of course, I use it with you, too. But I just wanted to mention how I do this and that I'm doing it because I thought maybe you might like to try it and let me know how you're doing. Well, I see it's break time. Are you there at the studio? I see a little note saying, oh, there you are. All right, so I'll be right back. Venus Andrecht with the Dear Venus Show. I'll take your calls, chat room, whatever.
Venus thinks the world needs cheering up. Let me tell you, her blog certainly does that. Every week it's a true story about her life and the people in it. Here are a few comments. Oh, thank you. I am laughing so hard. Every Wednesday it's great to start my day like this. And love, love, love to read your blogs. You always make my day. I have emailed your blogs on to many people this year. And your blogs are profound, prophetic, and wise. They make me laugh and cry and everything in between. And, okay, Venus, I almost spewed coffee out of my nose reading this one. Too funny. By the way, her family subscribes to her blog for their own protection. You can subscribe too. Just look for the orange-colored feed at the top of the blog. You can find the latest and often harrowing adventures in Venus's life at godisalwayshappy.com/blog. That's godisalwayshappy.com/blog.
Do you know that all of the Dear Venus shows are archived? You can listen to them anytime. To find the Dear Venus Show with Venus Andrecht on iTunes podcasts, the archive shows, or to have the current show emailed to you each week, go to Venus's website at godisalwayshappy.com. Click on the radio section on the homepage. That's all there is to it. You can have Venus with you anytime, all the time. You may start to feel like she's moved in with you. You can find her archive shows at godisalwayshappy.com in the radio section on the homepage.
Venus has become a little gnome in the back room, busily painting switches for your wall lights and 6x8-inch Good Luck Mojo paintings. Why? Because she started painting light switches for people who listen to her Dear Venus show. Every time you turn on these light switches, you turn on the good mojo energy. Well, the wall plates are a big hit, and Venus can barely keep up with the demand. You can see and purchase them on her artmojos.com website. And many of you have asked Venus to paint smaller, good mojo art so you can put it up in your office cubicles, your car, smaller rooms in your house, and so you can carry it around with you. So now the gnome named Venus is busy making little 6x8-inch paintings filled with light and good energy of all different types and kinds. When you purchase any painting, you can email Venus exactly the kind of mojo you want put into it, and she'll put it there personally just for you. She'll write it on the back of the painting too, no matter what the size. To see the 6x8-inch paintings and all of her paintings, plus the light switches, please go to artmojos.com. That's artmojos.com.
You know what Venus's mojos are. They are the benevolent energies her mother taught her to pull from the universe. The good energy mojos of all different kinds that help people in all different ways. Venus gathers these energies up from the universe and tosses various ones to all of you each week on this radio show. On her website, Venus has 8 more pretty impressive mojos that have garnered many happy testimonials. Mojos that she has taped with extra added energy and had them each set to special music and turned into MP3s. You can purchase these MP3s off Venus's website for a nominal fee and listen to them over and over again. Venus currently has a special running on all 8 mojos for $20 off. You can find these mojos on Venus's website, GodIsAlwaysHappy.com. And there are more unique mojos coming as MP3s, so be sure and check back often to Venus's site, GodIsAlwaysHappy.com.
Did you know that Venus does private phone sessions where she digs into the problems or concerns you have with people in your life? These issues can be with men, women, or children, and they can be dead or alive. Venus works to give you a better understanding of what people are thinking about you and your problems. By doing this, she gives you knowledge and peace of mind. Venus also works to help change situations and bring good things into your life after each phone session. After the clock is turned off, Venus does something extra special for you. She asks the high beings to bring through a personal mojo, just for you. Something they feel you may need in your life to make things better. For Venus's rates, how she works, and to set up a session, please go to GodIsAlwaysHappy.com. That's GodIsAlwaysHappy.com. If you really want and need to know about someone or something, email Venus now.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hi, welcome back. All right, we've just been through our topic and we're marching forward. Next show, topic for next week, March 6, 2012, odd and interesting health news for you. Yes, I have a real big interest in health and things that are happening out there that can help us. I think I'm going to talk about a health machine I'm trying out. And also lengthening your telomeres so you'll live longer. That's my thought. And who knows what might go with that. Also, my blog comes out. You know, my weekly blog. It'll be up tonight on GodIsAlwaysHappy.com/blog. And for those of you who are signed up, have a subscription, a free one. It'll show up midnight, 3 a.m. in the morning. You'll get it when you get up tomorrow. Topic name is Dead Man Talking. Dead Man Talking, yes. It's about my experience of a dream within a dream when I talked with a man I used to know before he died, and he had messages for his wife. Pretty interesting ending. So, GodIsAlwaysHappy.com blog. You can go there anytime. There's lots of blogs there if you want to laugh, good time. And they're all true stories. But sign up, you know, where it says RSS feed in orange. Just sign up there, subscribe, so you won't miss them. A lot of people email me and say how it really gives them a good day to start out like that. So, okay, before we move on, I want to ask for your help with something. All right, I'm not very technical. I'm trying to learn, but I have so many other things I do. And Summer's been really good at getting things out. Like a lot of you, we're changing over from my old mailing list to a new mailing list. She's been putting postcards together for me with my artwork and words and sending them out to the old mailing list to have you come over to the new mailing list. I thank all of you who have. But she's not going to be doing this for me anymore. She's overwhelmed with work. So she says I need a virtual assistant to put these postcards together for me for other things, a newsletter maybe once a month, a little help with my blog, things like that. And so I'm looking for what she calls a virtual assistant. And she said, here's what I need. And if this sounds like you, would you email me and tell me? I would love to find somebody I can work with, that we get along, we have a happy association, and I'm willing to pay. It's not free. But the skills she says I need are, you need to have used Aweber, A-W-E-B-E-R, and WordPress. Excellent copy editing skills. She says excellent because I guess she thinks I'm pretty crummy at it. Know some HTML. Can help with social media. And knows the mind, body, spirit community to some degree, and I think that would be you for sure. So if you have an interest, email me. You can reach me through my website, godisalwayshappy.com, or email me directly, venus@venusandrecht.com, ANDRECHT. All right, let's do this. Let's move on. I was looking at the chat room. John Page, let's see, he's disappeared already over here, but he was talking about a business. There you go. John, I think I've talked to you in person before. He said he's starting a business, parking lot enforcement, and would like to know which city is best for me to start. Looks like Hapville, Georgia. Hapville or Hopeville, or Marietta, Georgia. My sense on that, Marietta, Georgia would be easier. Hapville or Hopeville, it feels like you'd have more start from scratch maybe, but you might be able to do it more the way you wanted to, or perhaps get more from it. So it's a toss-up. That's what I see. But let's go to the board now. Let's go to Sue, Louisiana. Are you there, Sue?
Hey, Venus.
Hi, darling. How are you?
Oh, I was calling to give you an update on Sweet Pea.
Okay, let's tell everybody the background, because a lot of people haven't heard this or they can't remember.
Well, I had taken in a handicapped squirrel around Christmas and had to bring him back.
Oh, you're the squirrel lady.
Yeah.
You're the squirrel lady. Oh, you know what? I was just thinking about you this morning.
Okay.
And you know what I was thinking? You know what I was thinking?
No.
I was thinking that everybody's so glad when you call in because they love what you have to say about your squirrels. We deal with so many difficult problems here, and to have a squirrel problem is just such a relief. And I also I see all the people who come through who sign up for my newsletter on the new list. I saw a squirrel lady, and I go, yeah, the squirrel lady. I didn't know your name was Sue. Okay, now let me just, Sue the squirrel lady has been with me since Hay House. Oh my God, 6 years? I'm not sure. Yeah. The first time she called in, she had a constipated squirrel, wanted me to go in and see what the problem was and relieve the squirrel. So I believe we took care of that problem. Mm-hmm. And then through the years, you've called in with other squirrel issues. Your squirrels live in the house, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes, and in your drawers and with your underwear and stuff like that, right?
All right.
So tell them about Sweet Pea, and the last time we talked. So you tell them.
Yeah, I'd taken in a handicapped squirrel around Christmas, and Sweet Pea started giving me a lot of trouble, and I had to bring
Sweet Pea is another, wait a second, Sue. Sweet Pea is another squirrel who didn't like the handicapped squirrel.
Right.
And so I had to go in and talk to Sweet Pea about this, about how mean this was, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Anyway, about 3 weekends ago, I thought she was back to normal. She would come sit with me and whatever. Well, that lasted
Sweet
about
Pea
a
would?
week. Yeah,
Sweet Pea would?
And I thought, well, she's over it.
Yeah.
Well, the last 2 weekends she's been ornery and biting again. She's had like a relapse of esophagus. And I just figured I'd call you back, give you an update, and try to see what changed that, when she got...
Okay.
I thought over it and then sprung right back into it.
Okay, well, sometimes this happens. when I go into heads. We can make changes for a while, but eventually it wears off if the person or the squirrel hasn't changed. And so we need to give it another shot. I assume you still have the handicapped squirrel, right?
No. Remember, I took him back. I had to take him back around a little after New Year's. And she's been free of him, since then.
But she's still mad.
Yeah, you told me she'd get over it, but it would take a while. But I don't know really what a while means. So.
Okay, well, it sounds like it's taking a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go chat with Sweet Pea again. She's the only one now, the only squirrel in the house, right?
Yeah, maybe not bring up Skipper's name or anything, but just find out why she's still being mean. I don't bite her.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that. But, that would make things even more interesting if you would bite her back. Okay, so, Sweet Pea, we're looking for a squirrel. What color is Sweet Pea?
She's grayish, brownish.
Okay,
she's a gray squirrel.
Gray squirrel. A big, puffy gray squirrel. Out here we have gazillions of squirrels, and they're like brown, little brown squirrels.
Brown in her too. She's on the porch. She should be on the porch.
She's sitting out there minding her own business? Okay, well, let me just go see if I can go ruffle her up. So, I'm going to go through you, Sue, the squirrel lady. Sweet Pea, Sweet Pea, Sweet Pea, Sweet Pea. Okay, I'm going to go in Sweet Pea's head. Hello, Sweet Pea, can I come in your head? I even ask animals permission because, that's respectful. I don't want to start out by being rude to Sweet Pea. It doesn't sound like a girl you should fool with. All right. Sweet Pea, Sweet Pea, Sweet Pea. Can I come in and talk to you? Okay, your mom says you're being very irritable. What's the problem? She says she itches. Do you ever see her scratching?
Not very often.
Well, she showed me in her mind that she lifted up her foot and scratched toward her ear on her right side.
Okay.
Okay, so is it you're itchy? Is that what's making you mean? She says you're mean, that you're trying to bite her and you're just acting badly when you'd been acting good. So what's the problem here? She's reminding me, didn't we say give her special food or special treats?
Yeah, and I did.
Are you doing that?
Yes.
Because she mentioned it again. Are you not giving her what she thinks is enough?
I guess I'm not finding what she's wanting.
Yeah, because she brings that up. Can she eat, this sounds crazy, but could she eat pineapple or some fresh fruit?
She could probably, there's no reason she couldn't. I don't know if she likes it. But I did make a mistake and got her something that made her throw up. I got her some avocado, and I guess I let her eat too much. She loved it, but then I had to pull it from her because she threw up one day. So,
well, maybe you should try a little bit of it back then, because she's talking about these treats, and she's angry about something.
Well,
I wonder if she's angry because you took it away and you haven't brought it back. See, she wouldn't understand that it made her sick. All she thinks in her little squirrel head is that she's not getting the treat she wants.
Is that why she's going for my hands and my forearms? Because she's wanting something me to give her?
Okay, let me ask her. Sweet Pea, is that why you're going for your mom's hands and forearms? Is it that you want? She's looking for it. She thinks you're hiding it from her, that you're just being mean. You're being mean, or maybe you're playing a game, but you're being mean.
No.
And so you just better be forthcoming. And what I think you should do is try different things. And maybe put them different places, hide them, make her hide and go seek. Give her something to do. This girl needs more to do than she's doing. She's not busy enough.
If I could get her in a cage, I could bring her places. But she's too smart for me. I can't get her in a cage.
Well, I don't know if I'd tell the whole world. Squirrel's smarter than I am. Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They can make you feel dumb real fast.
Can they?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know. We just don't know that much about squirrels, Out here where I live, we have so many squirrel holes, you have to be really careful where you walk. You probably heard me say how 15 years ago I fell in one. That's what caused me all the problem. That's how I broke my ankle. So you have to be very, very careful because the ground will collapse right under you from all the squirrels we have. People are going crazy because some years they're worse than others, and they're just going crazy trying to get rid of squirrels. So, but I've noticed that every year it's something different. Maybe you've noticed this too, that one year it's bees, the next year it's flying insects, the next year it's squirrels. Every year it's something different that comes out in mass. some kind of bug or creature. But anyway, I got off track here. Back to Sweet Pea. You're just going to have to, let me see. Hang on a second.
Did she say what's wrong with her ear?
I don't know if anything really is. Let me ask. She may have just been doing that just because she wanted to. Let me see. Sweet Pea, is there a problem with your ear? It's just that she's feeling itchy and irritable. It may be that she just is bored. She's bored. Do you have toys or things for her to do or play with? Does she have a tree to climb or anything?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm surprised you brought that up because I cut down a couple of sapling oak trees and brought one in her room and one on the porch Sunday.
And did she do anything with it?
She got in it and left in about 30 seconds, like,
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed that I thought she'd be excited.
Well, let me ask her, why aren't you excited about this, Sweet Pea? It's like part of her wants to go outside and be a real squirrel.
Oh, really?
What would happen? Would she just, well, we don't know, if she'd just take off and be gone for good. Did you have her as a baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that why she's biting, because she wants to go outside?
Well, she keeps looking out. She's looking out toward a tree like she wants to go out and see what's up there. But, of course, if she goes up the tree, you may not have her back unless you keep her on a rubber cord or something.
Yeah, she would come back, but I'm worried about what's out there.
Well, she's curious. It's like she's just bored, bottom line bored.
Uh-huh.
And I would just keep trying to catch her, put a toy in her cage and fruit and food, whatever, and just see if you can and keep doing that without closing it on her, and she can go in and out. You're going to have to try and be smarter than a squirrel and figure this one out, okay? But, I forgot what I was going to do. I was going to give her a squirrel mojo. Okay, I'm happy. I'm at ease. I'm well balanced. I'm relaxed. I'm happy. I like to sit in the sun. I like to doze. I'm feeling very friendly and warm-hearted. I love my mom. Anything she gives me is great. I'm relaxed. I'm calm. I'm cool. I'm friendly. I just gave her a big squirrel grin. Boom! All right, Squirrel Lady Sue, this was great. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks.
All right. Call again. Love you. Bye. All right. Oh, goodness, it's time for another break. How can that be? That squirrel and I were having so much fun. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. Back to take more of your calls. I'll look at the chat room. Venus Andrecht with the Dear Venus Show.
Venus thinks the world needs cheering up. Let me tell you, her blog certainly does that. Every week it's a true story about her life and the people in it. Here are a few comments. Oh, thank you. I am laughing so hard. Every Wednesday it's great to start my day like this. And love, love, love to read your blogs. You always make my day. I have emailed your blogs onto many people this year. And your blogs are profound, prophetic, and wise. They make me laugh and cry and everything in between. And, okay, Venus, I almost spewed coffee out of my nose reading this one. Too funny. By the way, her family subscribes to her blog for their own protection. You can subscribe too. Just look for the orange-colored feed at the top of the blog. You can find the latest and often harrowing adventures in Venus's life at godisalwayshappy.com/blog. That's godisalwayshappy.com/blog.
I'm Venus's daughter, Summer McStravick, and I hope you can join me for my online radio show, Flow Dreaming. Visit my website, flowdreaming.com, for all the dates and times it plays. That's Flow Dreaming. I hope to see you there.
Where soul meets body.
You know you don't feel well, and your doctor can't tell you why. Quit worrying and get the answers you need. Dr. Ron Myers is a medical intuitive with a special gift. He sees into and hears what your body is saying it needs to feel healthy and strong again. Go to insightdoctor@yahoo.com. That's INSIGHTDOCTOR@yahoo.com. After just one consultation with Dr. Myers, Venus often gets emails from her listeners about the many health improvements and peace of mind they experience. For information about consultations with Dr. Myers, go to insightdoctor@yahoo.com. That's INSIGHTDOCTOR@yahoo.com.
Become a power manifester with Summer McStravick's complete Flow Dreaming Library CD set. Finally, here is a real practical technique that you can do in 15 minutes a day to activate the law of attraction in your life. No meditation, no long learning curve. Summer shows you how to easily start rewriting your energy patterns now. Go to flowdreaming.com to listen to actual excerpts of the CDs as you become a power manifester. Visit flowdreaming.com.
You can reach Venus for your own private reading by visiting GodIsAlwaysHappy.com and using the contact form to reach Venus. You can also enter to win a free psychic reading with Venus by signing up for her blog or newsletter at GodIsAlwaysHappy.com. Venus draws winners' names each week. Plus, you can follow her very interesting life. That's GodIsAlwaysHappy.com. Listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hi, how are you? Oh, I was waiting for you to answer me. Oh, sorry, I forgot I was on the radio. It just seemed so real to me. All right, okay, fan page. I talked about those fat pants and how I use my intuition on my fan page. I talk a lot about different things on my fan page that never make it to the radio or the blog. So I wish you would join me on my fan page. I don't use my friend page anymore. Just look for Venus Andrecht, ANDRECHT, and join us all there. We have a good time. All right, we got 2 winners today. First of all, every Tuesday I choose a 10-minute free reading winner from my newsletter, page. What do you got? Mailing list. This is the old mailing list and the new mailing list together. Once the last postcard goes out, which I think is another week, I won't be choosing any more names from the old list, only the new list. So if you want to have a chance at a reading, and there's one a week, make sure you get on my new mailing list. The way to get there is to go to my homepage, GodIsAlwaysHappy.com. Look for the blue headphones. Click on that. You're on my new mailing list. You also get a free mojo. And the first winner for the 10-minute free reading is Pam Montgomery. Pam, this is valid through March 5th, 2012. And after that, it's null and void. Just reach me through my website or email. And a second winner, this is for the 15-minute reading. Remember, everybody on the new list has a chance at winning 15 minutes with me. And I'm giving away one reading a week for a while here, if you're on my new list. And again, you sign up on my webpage, GodIsAlwaysHappy.com, and look for the blue headphones. Sign up, you get a free mojo. Everything is always okay. Before I read the winner's name, let me just read you a couple of thank yous about the free mojo. Reiki wrote, "It really helped me, and now I ordered the," she says MBM, but I think she means Big Money Mojo. Can't wait to see what happens next. Another one from Kathy. "Thank you so very much for the free mojo. It gave me a very strong, tingly feeling all over and a definite sense that everything really is okay and is always okay no matter what happens. So glad to know you. I'm very gracious for what you give and teach to all of us. Best wishes always, Kathy." Thank you so much for that. So the winner for 15 minutes is, I'm reading down here. I have all these notes. It's Maria Lupo, Lupo, Maria Lupo. And Maria, you need to email me through my website or in person or my website, my email address. And this offer for 15 minutes with me on the phone is valid through 3/5/2012. After that, it's null and void. I did send her an email. I am sending the winner of the 15 minutes emails. I want to just read you one more testimonial letter, and then we'll get back to work here. This is from Anna Ricci. Do you remember Anna Ricci? She's in, overseas somewhere. Is it Germany? I'm not sure. She was on the air with me, and we talked about her and the tax man having trouble. This man was coming to her house, and she's an artist, and she was scared to death that she was going to have to owe more money, and I went into his head, and I think this was on the air. Maybe it was a private reading. But anyway, she calls him Mr. Scrubber Man, Mr. Scrubber Maker. And she said, everything's okay. Everything is okay. It's all worked out with the tax man. She's going to send me more information on what happened. And she also sent me this note saying maybe 2 years ago, she did a flow dreaming class with me in summer. And then she ended up buying a Mojo piece of art from me with a Mojo in it just for her. She said at the time I was still trying to build up a practice in art therapy. Well, that kind of took a different direction after that, and through giving a painting away to a photographer in New York City via the Internet, she ended up recommending me to the people who have this magazine, which comes out in 52 countries and 4 languages, all millionaires looking for property, and here I am. It's live online from today. I'd give it to you, but it's too long. I can't figure it out. But that's very cool. Mojo, woo, woo. Yes, we'll have to do a good Mojo before we leave. I gave a squirrel Mojo. You can always pick up on that one. The squirrel won't mind. All right, let's go with Brenda in Michigan. Brenda, what can I do for you?
Hello?
Yes, Brenda.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm like so scared.
What are you afraid of? What I might say?
No, actually, I've only really known you for like a week. And it's
my gosh.
I'm already on your... Yeah, I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
I just happened, your daughter's book just landed in my hands. I read it, and I loved it. And the end of the book, of course, it said to get on your website and hers. And
great.
I'm a new believer.
Well, I'm glad you're with us, Brenda. What can I do for you?
What I was wondering is, I witnessed my uncle's death in the hospital, and he was quite, I guess, a lonely man. He's just really introverted and by himself, and, he spent, like probably 30, 35 years, working at the post office, and then, he was retired for a short time, and then he passed away. And it was just a witness of it, of him dying, and, in the hospital. I'm going to start choking up here. But
how old was he? Brenda, how old was he, and what did he die of?
He died of cancer, and he trying to think. I'm so brain fogged right now. He died 2 years ago.
So was he what, 65, 70?
About 65, 70, probably. Yeah.
Okay. So you want me to just go see if he's okay, or what would you like?
Yeah, I just wondered if his death was as painful as it seemed. I mean, because like when he was trying to take his last breath, he kept saying like he was gasping for air.
Yeah, that happens.
The nurses and doctors saying, "Listen, he cannot breathe," and he had to go on like this for 2 hours. It was just very inhumane. It was horrible.
Did he have lung cancer?
Oh, I think it started. It was in his lungs. It was in his his kidneys weren't working, and so they were pumping all this fluid in. And
I got it. What's his Brenda? What's his first name? What'd you call him?
Walter.
Okay, let me go check on Walter. Hang on a sec. I'm going to go through Brenda. Zoom. Okay, Walter. Okay, Brenda's been telling me about your death, and she's worried about you and concerned about your life and how you left it and how you felt. And can you tell her something? How do you feel now, Walter? Walter. Talk to me. Can I talk to you? Talk to me, Walter. He's here. He's slow to talk to me. Was he a man of few words, or did he have trouble getting his thoughts out, or was he kind of slow with that?
Oh, he had lots of ideas, but he talked
ideas,
slowly,
but was it, but But he's having trouble getting things out. Was he that way in life? Was he a slow thinker? Brenda, listen, did he gather his thoughts?
Talk to very many people.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. I just want to make sure I have, Brenda, I just want to make sure I have the right man. That's why I'm dinging at you. I'm trying to get an answer. Yeah. Is this the right man? Yes, okay, that's good. Okay, so it is the right man. Walter, okay. So you're gathering your thoughts. He's gathering his thoughts about what he wants to say to you because he feels it's important that he say to you this in the right way. He said, in some ways I had a very lonely life. And he said, I didn't like my death either. He said, but I could have done so much more with my life than I did. He said, I did the best I could, but I didn't. Now that sounds like an oxymoron or whatever, but he's saying he should have put more into living. He wishes he'd given living more attention. And I think he's speaking not only to you, but to a lot of people out there. He said he kind of just took what he was given, or he used what he got, or wherever he was, that's what he did, that kind of thing. And so the life itself was just sort of like that. He said, don't worry about the way I passed. It wasn't easy. He said, but my life wasn't easy. He said, but at least, he said, while he was dying, I felt more. It's like when he was living, working, and that kind of thing, he didn't feel a whole lot. He didn't let himself get really, really too excited or whatever. He didn't expand himself. But when he's dying, he says, you can't get away from it. So he felt he had trouble breathing. It felt like he was drowning. It was like he'd had these pains and he was uncomfortable and this feeling of suffocating. He said, but at least it made him feel like he was living. Do you see what I'm saying, Brenda?
Kinda, yeah.
So, okay, so it was good for him. It was good for him. At the end of life, he lived more of it than he had most of his life. If you think about this, I think maybe you'll get what he's saying. And he's saying now he's over on the other side. He said it's truly happy here. He's truly happy. He's doing more thinking. He's like walking in clover. It's like he's walking barefoot in a field of tall clover. I don't know if he had a background as a farmer or out in the country, or as a kid, but he's really enjoying walking in clover. And there's that saying about you're rolling in clover when things are good. Things are good for him now. Don't worry about him. What he wants you to do, he appreciates your kindness and your loving kindness toward him and your loving feelings and your concern. He says what you can do for him is to live your life in the happiest, fullest, most outrageous way you can. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he wants you to do.
All right.
Are you all right?
Yes, I am. Thank you. It makes a lot of sense. It's funny. He complained a while about his parents making like slave labor because they always had gardens and things like that. And we lived by MSU, and my grandparents used to make these great big football moms, and the kids had to all go out there and eat and all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad he's not in a garden. He's in the clover.
No, but he's out in clover. You know, he grew up with that, so he's used to that. Barefooted, he really enjoys the dirt, the plants. He may not have enjoyed doing the physical labor, but he's not doing that now. He's just enjoying the freedom of it. He's fine, and he's a nice man. I like him. All right, darling, I'm going to have to go because I got to do a mojo for everybody, all right?
All right.
So you hang on. You'll get this mojo. All right. Out there in Radio Land, are you ready? Are you ready for a good mojo? I'm trying to decide here what you want. When I say I'm trying to decide, what I mean is, you know how it is. When I do private readings, at the end, after we've done our talk and I've looked at all their situations, I turn off the clock, and then I give each of you a private reading, no charge. And what I do is what I do here, but when I'm on a personal reading, it's a personal mojo. This is for everybody. But I look behind me over my right shoulder, and there's all this energy. And so what's happening here is we're gathering it up. I don't know what's coming through. Just get ready for it. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Woo! 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 It's good energy. Wow! 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 It's to make you feel good. It's for your health. Just to get out there, start running, start going, get things done. Wow, wow, whoa, wow, bam, bam, bam. Woo, 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 woo. There were a lot of sparkly stars with little pointies on them. You might have felt them sticking you. So this is for energy, good times, fun, happiness in your head. Wow, it's better than coffee, that's for sure. And you know what? It's time for me to go again. Can you believe it? So next week, come on back. We've got another show, more fun, more calls, more everything. Email me